Hi children, today you are going to learn very important in our day-to-day life topics. This topic is related to mainly in the higher sections in the 7th class and for 8th class children. Also it will be helpful for 9th and 10th class where some certain problems comes we use some formulas. You might be seeing all 30 topics before this video I have shown you. All those 30 topics will be going to be discussed. These are the 30 topics will be used in the 7th class ratios and application chapter number 6 and also in the 8th class in chapter number 5 comparing quantities using proportion. In these two chapters, these are the topics we are going to be used. Based on these topics, we have many problems in these two classes. So, without wasting time, let one by one we'll discuss here. Then, first thing, we go for finding ratio. I don't write here complete definitions. Already you have seen the definitions. You take the definitions of screenshot and complete your notes. Then here ratio. Ratio is an order comparing the two quantities when they have same units. Okay, ratio is an making an order comparing the two quantities when they have in same units. So ratio is denoted by is to actually. Ratio denoted by is to. Ratio denoted by is to. This you have to mention. Maybe I did not write in the definitions. Ratio is denoted by is to. Comparing the two quantities when they have same units. The same. Suppose you see there is a 5 liters of milk and 7 liters of water. Then make a ratio milk to water. Milk to water is 5:7. 5:7. Here we can make a ratio because they have in same units, liters and liters. Suppose 5 kg sugar and 6 liters of milk. 6 liters of milk. Now can you form a ratio? Here we cannot form a ratio because here we can see the units are different. Units are different. But should not write like this 5:6. It will be a wrong. Because we can only make a ratio when they are in same units. When they are in same units. See, liters and liters. Suppose if it is like 6 kg of tomatoes, then what we used to write 5:6 we can write because the kgs and same kgs they have same units. Only ratio we can make when they are in the same units. If they are in different units, we cannot form a ratio. Okay. Then suppose see there is one more conditions. There is a here 5000 milliliters of milk and 2 liters of water. Now can we make a ratio? Yes, we can make a ratio, but see the units are different here. Units are different. 5000 milliliters and they are liters. Units are different. But if you think this milliliters, where 1000 milliliters is equal to 1 liter. 1 liter. We can convert into the same units. We can convert into same units. Now they are in different units, but we can convert into the same units. Like 5000 milliliters will give us 5 liters. Here it is a 2 liters. We can make a ratio now 5:2. 5:2. See, only we can make a ratio when they are in same units. When they are in same units like this. If they have different units, we cannot form a ratio. Now if units are different, if there is any possible to convert into the same units, we have to convert into the same units, then we can make a ratio. These are the three mainly we have to remember. First of all, you have to see that either units are same or not. If there is a unit same, you form a ratio. If units are different, we cannot form a ratio. If units are able to be changed into the same units, if you are able are able to be converted, then we can form a ratio. Suppose a ratio will take A is to B. Let us take a ratio A is to B. This A is known as a first term of the ratio. This B is known as a second term of the ratio. Or not, this A is also known as antecedent, and this B is known as a consequent, antecedent and consequent. This both you have to remember, antecedent and consequent. Either simply you can say first term and second term. But mainly in the upcoming classes will be going to be used antecedent and consequent. In a ratio, the first one is known as the antecedent, the second one is known as a consequence. So this also you make it sure. Write in the definition of ratio. Ratio denoted by is to, and also you write this. This I have this to write there actually. Okay, this is about the ratio. Then after the ratio, we have to discuss about proportions. What? Proportions. Then we should know what is meaning of proportions. Simple. Equality of two ratios is known as a proportions. Proportion. Proportion is denoted by is as. There are four dots here. Is as. You also write this. Proportion is denoted by is as. In the definition you mention this. Okay. Then equality of two ratios is known as the proportions. What? Equality of two ratios. Suppose there is a one ratio 2 is to 3, and there is a one more ratio 8 is to 12. 8 is to 12. Now we can say that if you write this 2 is to 3 is as 8 is to 12. Equality of these two ratios is known as a proportion. Both ratios are equal actually. If you see the first ratio, this one, and second ratio is equal. How they are equal, sir? Here it is a 2 is to 3. Here it is 8 is to 12. How come they are equal? Here, see that 2 is to 3 we cannot simplify again. But 8 is to 12 can be simplified. 8 can be cancelled in 4 table. Yes? So let us cancel in 4 table first. Then here 2 4s are 8, 2 6s are 12. I am not directly to cancel in 4 table also. Okay. Then let's cancel in 4 table there. Sorry. Let me cancel in 4 table or not in 2 table. 4 table. 4 2s are 4 3s are. 4 2s are 4 3s are. 2 is to 3, 2 is to 3. You got the same? Yes. Now equality of these two ratios, we can write this. 2 is to 3 will be equal to 8 is to 12. We have expanded this. We have multiplied a 4 number of times for this. 2 4s are 8, 3 4s are 12 like that. So equality of two ratios is known as a proportions. Now proportion can be written like this. Equality of these two ratios. 2 is to 3 is as 8 is to 12. You have to read like 2 is to 3 is as 8 is to 12. 8 is to 12. Then how to check the given ratios are here we are cancelled and told they are in the proportion. How to tell that either the given numbers are in the proportion or not? We can check by using one formula that product of means in the sense middle terms are known as a means. Then this extremes. Extremes. Okay, product of b is equal to product of extremes. So when you do product of b is equal to product of extremes, product of b is equal to product of extremes, will come to know that either the given two ratios are in proportion or not. This is the way we can check the given two ratios are in proportion or not. See, product of b is 3 into 8. Let us equal to product of extremes 2 into 12. See, 3 8s are 24, 2 12s are 24. You got LHS equal to RHS. The product of b is equal to product of extremes. Hence, the given ratios are in proportion. If product of b if it is not equal to product of extremes, they are not in proportion. If any one term of missing in this, suppose this term is x. If this term is x, let us find out what is the term will come here in the place of x. Simple. Product of b is 3 into x will write. 3 into x, product of b is equal to product of extremes 2 into 12. So simple now. This 3 will transfer this side. X equal to 2 into 12 by 3. 3 ones are 3 fours are. X equal to 2 into 4, then x equal to 8. Will comes here 8. Not only here, we can find out any one of the term. Either here or here or here or here. If any one of the term is missing in the proportion out of these 4 terms, we can find out by using this formula. Product of means equal to product of extremes. Please mind this. Okay. Then if there is a two ratios like a is to b, if it is as c is to d, a is to b is the first ratio, c is to d is the second ratio, then product of b is equal to product of extremes. Thus product of b is, that is b into c is equal to product of extremes a into d. This I have mentioned in the definitions. Then you just make sure that you write that proportions is denoted by is as. Next, we have to learn about compound ratio. Yes, the third one is compound ratio. What is meaning of compound ratio? In a simple way, I will tell you that. The perfect definition I have given in the papers. So, simplifying two ratios into one ratio, it's called compound ratio. There is a two ratios, one ratio, then another ratio. Simplifying these two ratios into one ratio, that is called compound ratio. Compound ratio. Suppose, let me write here, there is a one ratio 2 is to 3, and there is another ratio like this. Let me take 4 is to 6. 4 is to 6. Let me write, these are the two ratios. These two ratios will write into one ratio, will simplify into one ratio. How can we make? See that these two ratios, suppose 2 is to 3 will be equal to suppose 4 is to 6. In this, 2 is called antecedent, 3 is called consequent, as we learned in the ratio definition. Antecedent, consequent, antecedent, consequence. Then, if you want to make out a compound ratio, you have to maintain this. You have to use this formula. See, product of antecedent is equal to product of consequence. Product of antecedent is equal to product of consequence. So in the proportion we have used product of means equal to product of extreme. That is different. Here product of antecedents 2 into 4. Here it is antecedent and here is the antecedent. Here is a consequent, here is a consequence. So 3 into 6. Okay. If product of means is to product of consequence. Product of antecedents is to product of consequence. Product of antecedents 2 into 4 is to 3 into 6. 2 4s are 18 is to 3 6 are 18. 8 is to 18. but always the ratio should be shown in the simplest form. If there is a able to cancel this, we have to cancel. See, here I can cancel this in the 2 table. 2 4s are 2 9s are. Now we get 4 is to 9. The compounded ratio of 2 is to 3 and 4 is to 6 is 4 is to 9. Simple that the product of antecedent is to product of consequence is known as compounded ratio. The same, simplifying two ratios into the one ratio is known as a compound ratio. We have to remember this all concepts. These all concepts will help us to solve these two chapters clear without any having doubt. Having any kind of a doubt. Now next we will learn about the selling price. Commercial math, this is completely selling price. It is denoted by SP. Selling price, SP. What is meaning of selling price? Okay. What is the meaning of selling price? So suppose if you have purchased any articles or item in a market, and every article and items there will be a price will be there on the articles. The price will be there on article, that is called as a selling price. The shopkeeper at what amount he will sell. The shopkeeper at what amount he will sell the article, it is called as a selling price. The shopkeeper at what amount he will sell the duster, it is known as the selling price of the duster. But what amount a shopkeeper sells a shirt, the amount is known as a selling price of a shirt. Okay, and here you will get one marble price also will be different then. I will tell you later that. So next we will learn about cost price. Cost price is denoted by CP in short form. Cost price. What is meaning of cost price? The amount which was paid on article. The amount which was paid on article is known as a cost price. The amount which was paid on article is known as a cost price. The amount which you paid on this duster is known as a cost price. The amount which you paid on this shirt, it's known as a cost price. Here you need to be think one relation. The seller selling price is equal to buyer cost price. The seller selling price is equal to buyer cost price. Suppose a seller selling this duster for 10 rupees. Buyer, suppose I am the buyer, I am buying this for 10 rupees. The seller selling price will be equal to buyer cost price. Remember. Then next, sixth one, profit. Okay, profit. Okay, the next one is profit. Okay, when we can say it is a profit. When we can say a seller or a shopkeeper in profit. When a shopkeeper or a seller will be in profit. When selling price is more and cost price is less, they are in profit. The seller said to be in profit when selling price is greater than cost price. Suppose I have purchased this duster for 10 rupees. If I sold this duster for 20 rupees, then I am in profit. I am in profit. How much profit? Selling price minus cost price. Selling price is 20, cost price is 10. That means I am 10 rupees profit on this duster. Okay, when a seller said to be in profit when selling price is greater than cost price. That's what I will write here. When selling price is greater than cost price. The selling price is greater than cost price, they are in profit. That means profit. The profit formula is selling price minus cost price. Selling price minus cost price. The selling price should be more, cost price should be less. Then they are in profit. Suppose I have purchased this shirt for 300 and I sold it for 800. Cost price is 300, selling price is 800. Then I am in profit. How much profit? The profit formula is that profit equal to selling price minus cost price. Selling price is 800 minus cost price is 300. That means I am profit for 500 rupees. So this formulas also you should be remembered. In the same way, in the business when there is a profit, there will be loss also. Then how to calculate the loss? That is our next point. loss. How to calculate the loss? When a seller will be in a loss, a seller said to be in loss when cost to price is greater than selling price. Cost price is more, if selling price is less, then a seller will get loss. Suppose I have purchased this duster for 10 rupees, I sold it for 5 rupees, then I am in loss. Yes or no? Yes. Then here we will get a loss when cost to price is greater than selling price. Cost to price is greater than selling price, we get a loss. The loss formula we get here equal to cost price minus selling price. Suppose the cost price of a shirt is 300 rupees. If the selling price of a shirt, if it is a 200 rupees, I purchased the shirt for 300, I sold it for a 200. Then I will get a loss. How much loss I will get? Loss equal to selling price. Sorry, cost price minus selling price. Cost price is 300 minus selling price is 200. That means I get 100 rupees loss. 100 rupees loss. So remember the formulas. Now, after this profit and loss, we learn about percentages. Next, we learn about percentage. Percentage denoted by this symbol actually. Okay, percentage denoted by this symbol. What is meaning of percentage? Clearly listen. On the percentage, I have done already videos how to calculate the percentage very quick, within a seconds. I have done the videos. So those videos links I will keep in the descriptions. Okay, or not in the icon also, in the I button I will leave it at. Okay, you can see those videos also to calculate percentages very fast, because those percentages will be help you in these two chapters. So again I don't want to repeat that, because this video will be very length if I explain that also. So I will tell you here what is percentage. There are many examples are given in the percentages and how to calculate the percentages. Everything I have done, 2-3 videos are there, that I will keep it in the description, you just watch that. Okay, percentage. Percentage in the sense, for every 100 is known as a percentage. For every 100 is known as percentage. For 100 we are calculating, that is called percentage. Suppose 5 percentage is nothing but 5 by 100. Suppose x percentage is nothing but x by 100. When you are removing percentage, you will get by 100. For every 100 is known as a percentage. For more details about the percentage, you have to watch those videos. Don't forget. You will get extreme knowledge with those videos. It is for sure. Please watch those videos. Thank you. Now, 9th one. Then profit percentage, loss percentage. There are two kinds of percentages. Now, profit percentage, nothing but a P dash, P percentage. Profit percentage, and the 10th one is loss percentage. Loss percentage. Profit percentage and loss percentage. How to calculate the profit percentage and how to calculate the loss percentage? Simple. Profit percentage formula is profit by cost price into 100. Profit by cost price into 100 will get the profit percentage. How will get the loss percentage? Loss by cost price into 100. Okay, let me do one problem here to get how to calculate the profit percentage and loss percentage. Suppose the cost price of an article is 500 rupees and selling price of an article, if it is 800 rupees, then we will get a profit. How much profit we will get? See here, selling price minus cost price. Selling price minus cost price. Then you will get profit of 300 rupees. Profit of 300 rupees. Then how to find out the profit percentage? Profit percentage equal to see profit by cost price into 100. Okay. Then profit is what? 300. What is the cost price? That is 500 into 100. See that these two zeros will get cancelled. 5 was a 5 2s are 10 and 0. Will get 3 into 20, that is 60. Therefore, profit equal to 60%. or profit percent is equal to 60. However, you can write profit percent is equal to 60 or profit equal to 60%. Very simple. So in this way we can calculate the profit percentage. Then how to calculate the loss percentage? By taking same example. See, cost price is 500. Then selling price will be suppose 200. Suppose I sold for a 200 rupees. I purchased for 500. I sold it for 200. Definitely I will get loss. How much loss I will get? See, loss I will get by cost price minus selling price formula. That will be equal to 500 minus 200. So loss equal to 300. Then loss percentage equal to formula loss by cost price into 100. Loss equal to 300 by cost price is 500 into 1000. Simple, you cancel again. 2 ones are 20. That means 3 into 20, that equal to 60. Loss percentage equal to 60 or loss equal to 60%. See how to find out the loss percentage and how to find out the profit percentage. Have given examples. About more we learn in the chapters. In the chapters when you are learning, you will get understand that how to calculate again. So formulas are very important to learn all the things. Then next we go for very important formulas again. Here 11th one, to find out the selling price. To find out the selling price. To find selling price. To find out the selling price when cost price and profit is given. When cost price is given and profit is given. Only in the question, in the given question they will give you cost price and profit. What? Cost price and profit they will give you. Then we need to find out cost price and profit percentage. Profit percentage. Cost price and profit percentage they will give. Then we need to find out the selling price. Suppose the cost price of an article 300. The cost price of an article is 300. On selling of this article, you got 20% profit. You got 20% profit. What you got? You got a 20% profit. Then at what rate a seller sold it? 300 rupees కొనుక్కున్నాడు, 20% ప్రాఫిట్తో అమ్మేసిండు. అమ్మేస్తే అతను ఎంత పర్సెంటేజ్ అంటే అతను ఎంతకు సేల్ చేశాడు, వాట్ ఈస్ ద సెల్లింగ్ ప్రైస్ అది ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయాలి. సో లెట్ us find out. There is a formula here for that. See, the formula selling price equal to, okay, 100 plus profit percentage by 100 into cost price. 100 plus profit percentage by 100 into cost price. This profit percentage value they will give, you know, we have to write here 100 plus profit percent by 100 into cost price. This cost price we have to write here. Simple. There will get a selling price. Then in this only second, there will be a second formula here where cost price is given. Okay, cost price of article is given, and this time they have given loss percentage. This time the seller got a loss. Then what should be a selling price? What should be a selling price? The selling price formula is 100 minus loss percentage by 100 into cost price. Simply instead of plus profit percent, you put minus loss percent. That's it. You will get an answer. Based on this, we have problems on in the 6th, 7th class and also in the 8th class. Please remember this. Not only this, children, similar to this we will be having formulas. Here to find out the selling price, but here to find cost price. To find cost price. How to find out the cost price? See, when to find out the cost price, there must be give us selling price. When selling price and the selling price and profit percentage is given. Profit percentage is given. When selling price and profit percentage is given, how to find out the cost price? The cost price formula 100 by 100 plus profit percentage into selling price. 100 by 100 plus profit percentage into selling price. This is the formula. Where to find out the cost price. Where selling price and profit percentage is given. Selling price and profit percentage is given. So next again same thing, but selling price loss percentage. When selling price and loss percentage is given. How to find out the cost price? The cost price is equal. Simple. 100 by 100 minus loss percentage into selling price. By selling price. I hope you can understood this. Based on this, we have problems that will be discussed in the directly when problems comes. There are many problems based on these 4 formulas. Very important formulas. This is all these are important formulas only because every formula will be going to be used in the exams. That means in the problems will definitely use this one. So I hope you have learned this all. If you want to take a screenshot of this, you can take it, children. Now we go for 12th one. 12th one definition. So 12th one completed. We go for the 13th one. 13th one is that about sale tax. Sale tax. Also, this is known as a value added tax. Value added tax is also known as VAT. VAT. Value added tax. Value added tax is also known as VAT. 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 What is this value added tax? Actually, what is meaning of VAT? You should know this. So, normally you might be heard that when your father or mother, your family members are paying a water tax, for municipal water will pay the tax, and for house taxes we used to pay, for the lands we pay the taxes, or purchasing some vehicles we pay the tax. There are different kind of taxes are government collecting from us. Government is collecting different kind of taxes from the people. Why they collect the taxes? On sales also they will collect the taxes on sales. Suppose you go to the shopkeepers. If you are purchasing any article, you see the rate below of the rate. There will be rate will be printed. The market price will be printed there. The market price will be printed on every article. The market price will be printed on every article. What is market price? I will tell you again. Price of the below, including all taxes. You can see including all taxes. What are these all taxes? On sales they are keeping taxes. On water they are keeping tax. On vehicles they will take tax. Road tax they will take. House taxes they will take. To live in our home we have to pay tax. Why? Why they are collecting all these kind of taxes? Government collect the taxes from the people, and government will spend that money. Whatever money comes from the people through the taxes, they'll spend the money on people only. How come the government will get the money then? They'll collect the taxes from the people, and they pay on the people to do the several welfare activities. So several welfare activities like pensions they are giving. Yes, they are providing ration. They are providing free educations in the government schools. Free treatment they are giving in government hospital. For these government required a amount. Further they are collecting the taxes in the form of sales taxes or value added taxes. Value added taxes. I hope you understood about the tax. Here value added tax will be increased as the selling price. Suppose an article price is suppose 100 rupees. An article price is suppose 100 rupees. After adding VAT, suppose VAT is suppose 10% on it. If VAT is 10% on this, 10 percentage of 100 is nothing but 10 by 100 into 100. Nothing but 10 rupees again. This 100 rupees selling price plus this VAT. That means a 100 rupees plus 10, that equal to their sell for 100 price. This is market price. Market price plus VAT. Market price plus VAT. So this is market price. An article, suppose there is a 100 rupees printed. Okay. Suppose there is a 100 rupees on the article. They will take 10% extra on it. That means more 10 rupees they are taking. So it become a 110 rupees. That means we have to pay 110 rupees. Actual selling price now 110 rupees. Market price will be like 100. So in some hotels like a 5-star hotels and 3-star hotels, after billing, they will take a tax, value added tax. But nowadays the hotels are not adding value added tax. They are going for GST. They will add the GST. What is GST also will be discussed very deeply here. And petrol. On petrol we are paying a value added tax only, sales tax. On sale, okay, sales tax. Central government there is a tax on the petrol, and also state government also they are putting a tax on the petrol. Suppose 1 liter of petrol. Now 1 liter of petrol now it is charges 105 rupees. Now it is charges 105 rupees. Actually from the other countries will import the petrol here. Will import the petrol from the other countries. For our country, when petrol reaches our country, suppose the petrol for 1 liter we get most probably averagely we calculate for 35 rupees. For 1 liter we get only 35 averagely. I don't know correct, okay. Averagely we get for 35 rupees. They will take in the bulk wise. Central government will take in the barrels. Okay. So for 1 liter if I calculate that 35 rupees only, then remaining 105 minus this 35, we get 70 rupees. More 70 rupees on 1 liter petrol. 70 rupees is a tax. This is 70 rupees they are taking a tax. In this tax there will be state government tax will be there. Our Telangana government is putting some taxes. Telangana, Andhra Pradesh governments are putting some taxes, and central also we have putting some tax. What central may take from this 30 rupees, then remaining 40 rupees may take by state. Accordingly, they will be having some percentages. Accordingly, they have some percentage. What is the central government percentage on this and state government percentage? So all together they are putting 170 rupees, near about 70 rupees collecting from 1 liter. So just think, I have gone for petrol bunk today, I have 4-5 liters of, that means 500 rupees petrol I poured it. That means 500 rupees actually I have to pay only for 570, 75, 350. I have to pay only 150 rupees. 150 or 175 rupees I have to pay. More 350 rupees I have paid only tax. This much of tax they are collecting to do the several welfare, social welfare activities to the help the people. We have such a big country like having 130 plus crores of people in India. To feed them it is definitely required. It's not default of a Indian politicians. Okay, we don't discuss about that now. We'll be discussing only VAT. The VAT in the sense it increases the selling price. Actually ఒక ఆర్టికల్ మనకు 50 రూపీస్ ఇచ్చేది ఉంటే దానిపైన VAT వేస్తే మనకు 50 కన్నా ఎక్కువ అవుతుంది. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ ఇంక్రీజెస్ ద సెల్లింగ్ ప్రైస్. It is increases the selling price. Now we go for GST, goods and service taxes. Next we go for goods and service taxes. Goods and service. Goods and services. GST. Goods and service tax. Service Tax, GST. So what is this GST? What is this VAT? VAT will be given by the state governments only. Okay, now VAT is given by the state government. Before July 2017, the central government also had put the VAT. VAT is allotted on every article, state and central government, when before 2017, July 2017. Before July 2017, the state and central government both they used to put a VAT on every article. After July 2017, that means on the July 2017, from the July 2017, central government has given goods and service taxes, introduced this GST, goods and service taxes. What is the use of these goods and service taxes? It is very benefits. There will be benefits and there will be merits and demerits in the GST also. But when we'll go through the only what is GST, that's it. I will tell you what is benefits and what is debenefits from this. There will be loss from this. Will be you discuss in the only politicians can tell that. So I will tell you what is GST clearly here. GST introduced by central government in the 2017, in July 2017. What GST? GST is a overall tax. Only one nation, one tax. One nation, one tax. Oka desha, okade tax. That means GST will be given on the article. According to the article, they will be putting taxes. On some articles there will be 3% tax. And then in some articles there is a 5% tax. And some articles there will be 12% and 18% and 28%. According to the manufacturing and the value of the articles, depends on the articles, the taxes will be different. These are the taxes will be same throughout the country. Again, if state government is putting 3% tax on one article, suppose there is a 18% GST on purchasing one TV, suppose. Okay. Suppose this TV cost is rupees 10,000. Then central government has given kept a GST on this. Suppose 18% GST you kept on this TV. Then this 18% of this 10,000, this 2 zeros you cut, that become 1800 rupees. The more 1800 rupees we have to pay on this 10,000. Then this 10,000 plus 1800. That means 11,800 rupees we have to pay on this TV. 11,800 rupees we have to pay on this TV. That means this GST will increases our selling price. GST will be increases on our selling price. Before the July 2017, if this TV wants to if it is manufactured at the Delhi to Telangana, if it is crossing a 7 states, every state used to put a value added tax. Then this TV rate becomes a 1800 or 1700 like that. Now it is coming for 11,800 rupees only. Because throughout nation we have only one tax, that is called GST. Only on some particular articles we have, particular things we have, further only we have GST. Suppose petrol is not on the GST. Petrol is not on GST. It is not under GST. If it comes to GST, will be getting a more benefit. Suppose a petrol will comes for 1 liter. 1 liter's petrol cost is 105 rupees now. For actually the central government, this petrol will import from the other countries. So from other countries, if this petrol will come to the central government for rupees, suppose 30 rupees or 35 rupees. Suppose for generally 35 rupees. In this, state government putting a tax plus central government taxes are there. Including all taxes, it will be reaches 105. That means 70 rupees on 1 liter. 1 liter they are taking 70 rupees. Suppose today I kept 500 rupees of petrol in my bike. Then near about 350 rupees I paid a tax. In throughout our state, how many liters of petrol and diesel is going every day? Throughout the country, how many barrels of liters of petrol is selling? How much profit the central or state governments are getting? So just we have to think. What they do with this all the amount? They go for social welfare activities, for the hospitals, for education, for ration, for pensions, for everything. To do these activities, welfare activities, they spend it. Then GST will be allotted by the central government. Then the amount which are collected from the GST, it will go to the central government or state government. The amount whichever collected from the GST, in the Telangana they have collected 1 crore rupees per on the GST suppose. Then 50 lakhs will be given for Telangana state and 50 lakhs will be given for central government. The 50% per share will go to the state government and 50% share will go to the central government. That is what GST is. Goods and service taxes. Goods and service taxes also will be increases our selling price. Increases our selling price. Then next we go for market price. Market price. This will be right like a FP, market price. Selling price is different, market price is different. What is this market price? What is this catalyzed price? Or not, what is this list price? List price or catalyzed price or market price in the same. If you go to some supermarkets and big shopping malls, there you can see the list of the price list, price tax on every articles. On every item there will be, they can be seen a tax, price tax. They are called market price. Here market price is different and selling price is different. Suppose market price on one article is 200 rupees. Market price on one article is 200 rupees. But in some supermarket they will sell it for 150 rupees only. 150 rupees or 180 rupees. Selling price is 150 but market price is 200. The amount which is printed on the article is called market price. There will be more than market price, they won't sell it. Less than market price, they will sell it. If you see on every article, there will be written including all taxes and including GST. Okay, GST will be mandatory in our country. Actually, GST bills will be there with us. Okay, including GST only they will pay the bill. So here market price is 200, then selling price is 150 rupees. Then here you are getting 50 rupees less. What is this 50 rupees is called? That is called discount. You got 50 rupees discount. I hope you understood this meaning of a market price. Yes, the meaning of market price you might be understood. Yes, then we go for here market price and selling price both are different. Yes. Now you have got a word now. What is discount? Okay, discount. What is meaning of discount? The reducing amount on the market price is called discount. The reducing amount on the market price is called discount. Here discounts is a decreasing percentage of selling price. Discount will decreasing percentage of selling price. That means if you got a discount, will be happy. That means if you want, if there is a one item of 1000 rupees, if you are getting a discount with the 800 rupees, will be happy. Yes or no? Everyone will be habited to ask the discounts. Everybody will be habited to ask the discounts normally. Maximum people. Okay. Then discount is nothing but it will be given. Discount will be given on the market price. Discount will be given on the market price, not on selling price. On selling price they won't give you discount. On the market price only they will give you discount. Suppose the market price is 200, they are selling for 150 rupees. On this 150 they don't give you discount. On this 200 only, on the market price only they will give the discount. Then discount will be having a formula here for the discount. Discount equal to market price minus selling price. From total market price minus selling price, 200 minus 150, 50 is the discount. This is what the discount. Then accordingly, based on this only, we'll get two more formulas. See, if you need a market price, when discount and selling price is here, when discount and selling price is here, market price equal the selling price you bring this side, then discount plus selling price. Discount plus selling price. Then 18th one. Now if you need a selling price, then what you do it? The discount you transfer and selling price you bring this side. Selling price is equal market price plus discount. Market price plus discount. These are the three formulas we are derivated from this only a single formula. If you know this formula, you can write these two formulas also. Remember, this also will be help us to do the problems. After the discount, shall we go for discount percentage? Discount percentage. Now the discount percentage. We learn about discount percentage. Discount percentage, D percentage. The discount percentage is calculated on the market price. How profit percentage, loss percentage calculated by the cost price? Profit percentage formula, profit by cost price into 100. Loss percentage formula, loss by cost price into 100. Profit percentage, loss percentage calculated by the only cost price. In the same way, here market price is only, cost, discount percentage. Discount percentage is calculated by only market price. So the discount percentage formula is discount by market price into 100. Discount by market price into 100. Let us do one problem here to be understand clearly. Let us do one problem. Suppose the market price of an article, suppose 1000 rupees, and he sold it for only 800 rupees. He sold it for only 800 rupees. Then how much discount you got? It was 100 rupees, 1000 rupees, but you sold for 800. That means you got some discount. That discount equal to here market price minus selling price. Discount equal to 1000 minus 800. The discount will be getting for 200 rupees you are getting. 200 rupees you got discount. But how much percentage it is? How much percent of 200 it is? Then find out the discount percentage. Discount percentage formula is discount by market price into 100. This is the formula. No, discount percentage formula. Discount formula is this market price minus selling price. Discount percentage formula is this discount by market price into 100. Then discount percentage is equal to discount you got 200 rupees and market price 1000 rupees into 100. This two zeros get cancelled. 1 0 1 0 get cancelled. Discount percentage equal to 20. Discount equal to 20%. Discount equal to 20%. So I hope you understood now how to find out the discount percentage also. Now here let us learn one more word like a successive discount. Let's go for the successive discounts. Successive discounts. What is meaning of these successive discounts? See, if two or more than two discounts are allotted, if two or more than two discounts are allotted on same article, on one article at a time, they are called successive discount. In simply we can say discount on discount is called successive discounts. Discount on the discount, it's called successive discounts. Suppose let me make you to understand that if you went to a shop and you purchase one shirt, suppose you have purchased one shirt rupees, he said that the shirt cost is 1000 rupees. The shirt cost is 1000 rupees. Then you felt that the shopkeeper is, by watching your face itself, he gave 20% discount. By watching your face itself, he gave 20% discount. Let's take 20% discount on this. Then what we get? see the discount amount will be 20% of market price. Market price is 1000. Discount equal to 20% of 1000. These two zeros get cancelled. 20 into 10, that is 200. You got a 200 rupees discount. You got 200 rupees discount. That means what is the selling price now? Selling price equal to 1000 minus this discount. Market price minus discount. Selling price equal to market price minus discount. Market price minus discount. Yes. Market price minus discount. Yes. Here market price minus discount, that is selling price. Selling price equal to, here it is 800 rupees. You will get that shirt, same shirt for 800 rupees. What you done? You went to a shop. The shop, you selected one shirt. It was 1000 rupees, but shopkeeper is allotted 20% discount. That is first discount. Then you are not satisfied. You felt that why to pay 800 rupees on the shirt? Then you ask for some more discount on this. Some more discount. Then shopkeeper is agreed and decided to give the discount 10%. This is the second discount is giving. The second discount is giving on 800 now. 10% discount is giving on 800. So what happens? See. Now discount equal to 10% is of 800. The 10% of 800 is the discount will be 80 rupees. Then selling price become market price 800 minus this 80. Then the selling price become 720 rupees. Then you are getting that shirt for 720 rupees. Here first discount you got 20% on 1000 rupees. So you got 800 rupees. Then you are not satisfied here. You are asked for some more discount. Then shopkeeper he gave 10% discount on these 800, not on this 1000. So 800. Then you got 720 rupees. Now you have taken the shirt for 720 and you are very happy that you got 2 discounts. But you don't know, children, successive discounts always loss for buyers, not for seller. Seller in profit always in successive discounts, but buyer is always seller is always get profit, but buyer is always in loss in the successive discount. How? We are getting a 2 discounts. How can become loss then? We should be in the profit, no? We are getting 2 discounts instead of getting only 20% discount. So let me explain you that. So, however, how much discount you are getting in this step? How much discount you are getting? Here, first 20%, next to 10%. Total, how much discount you got? 30% you have to get. So let me calculate. The discount is 30%. On how much? 1000. On rupees 1000. You calculate discount equal to 30% of 1000. These 2 zeros cancel now. 30 into 10. 300. 30 into 10, 300. You got 300 discount. Then what should be a selling price? Selling price equal to market price minus discount. That is 1000 minus 300. That equal to 700. See, you are getting for here 700, but here you are paying for 720. Here 2 discounts are given, but we are paying 720 rupees on shirt. But here only 1 discount, we are paying for only 700 rupees. What is the trick here? What trick the shopkeepers will play with us? See, they will tell us we are giving 2 discounts and pay the 720, give the 720 and take shirt and go. But we will be lost 20 rupees there. Then what you do it, instead of taking 20% on 1000, 10% on 800 discount amount, on this discount amount they are putting one more discount. This discount is giving on 1000. This discount they are giving on 800. Discount on discount is successive discount. Then we are paying 720. Instead of taking like that, this 20% and this 10%, completely 30%. This 30% you take it at a time on 1000. At a time on 1000. Then we will be in profit. Okay. Though you are educated now, if they are giving you 2 or 3 discounts, you take a single discount. Always the single discount is beneficial for buyers instead of successive discounts. ఇండివిజువల్గా డిస్కౌంట్ తీసుకోవడం కన్నా ఇండివిజువల్ డిస్కౌంట్స్ అన్నీ కలిపేసి ఒకేసారి మార్కెట్ ప్రైస్ పైన తీసుకోండి. ఇక్కడ ఏం చేస్తాడు 20% డిస్కౌంట్ ఆన్ 1000, 10% డిస్కౌంట్ ఆన్ ఆ డిస్కౌంట్ అమౌంట్ 800 పైన చేసి 720 తీసుకుంటాడు. అలాగే ఆ 30% డిస్కౌంట్ డైరెక్ట్గా 10,000 పైన తీసుకో, యూ విల్ బి గెటింగ్ ఓన్లీ 700 rupees. సో దిస్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు హ్యావ్ ఎ నాలెడ్జ్. సో ఐ హోప్ యూ అండర్స్టూడ్ అబౌట్ ద successive discounts. So successive discounts always loss for buyers. Buyers in the sense the people who are buying it. There is always benefit for sellers, shopkeepers. Okay. Then we have completed about the successive discounts also. I hope you understood about the discounts. Now we'll go for very interesting topics like interest, simple interest. What is meaning of interest? First of all, let us learn what is meaning of interest or simple interest. Normally, at your home, your father or mothers, they may give the money to others for the interest, or not they might be taken a money for interest. What is meaning of this interest? The extra amount which is paid on original amount. The extra amount which is paid on the original amount, it is called interest. ఎక్స్ట్రా అమౌంట్ పే చేస్తాం ఇచ్చిన అమౌంట్ కన్నా, అది ఇంట్రెస్ట్. సపోజ్ 10,000 రూపీస్ తీసుకుంటే 11,000 12,000 పే చేస్తాం అంటే 1-2,000 ఎక్కువ పే చేస్తున్నాం కదా, ఆ 1-2,000నే ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అని అంటాం. సో ద ఎక్స్ట్రా అమౌంట్ విచ్ వీ పేడ్ ఆన్ ది ప్రిన్సిపల్ అమౌంట్, ఇట్స్ కాల్డ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్. సో దే మే టేక్ ఫర్ 2%, 3%, 4% రేట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్. ఇట్ విల్ బి డిఫరెంట్ టు ద డిఫరెంట్ పర్సన్స్. సమ్ ఆఫ్ దెమ్ దే మే గివ్ ఫర్ నో ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఆల్సో. Very less people, but everybody gives the interest. When banks will give the interest, post office will be the give the interest. Wherever you deposit amounts in the bank or post office, they will give the interest. So the simple interest formula is that P into T into R by 100. What is P? What is T? What is R, sir? Let me tell you. Simple interest will write like SI. Simple interest. Then P equal to principal amount. T in the sense time. R in the sense rate of interest. R in the sense rate of interest. P in the sense principal. The amount which we have taken, the original amount is known as a principal amount. Time, T. Time in the sense the amount taking and giving back between the duration is called as a time period. Suppose in 2017 I have taken amount, in 2021 I am giving out, that means 4 years I have kept that amount with me. So for the principal amount, suppose I have taken a 1 lakh rupees in 2017, I have taken a 1 lakh rupee, then in 2021 I paid here suppose 1,80,000 rupees. That means here 4 years I have kept that amount with me. So for that I am paying 80,000 rupees extra. This extra amount is known as interest. The extra amount is known as a interest. So this will be formula for finding simple interest. Simple interest in the sense, for how many years you are keeping, you will keep only one interest. Suppose if you have taken for a 2%, this 2% will be calculated on the 1 lakh. For 4 years also will do the same thing. Annually, the interest will be calculated in the annually only here. Then next, here we go for compound interest. We go for compound interest. Or not simple interest formulas will be there here. Let me write simple interest formulas will be there. Let me go for 22. Formula number 22. That is amount formula. Amount in the sense what? Amount in the sense what? See, suppose I borrowed 10,000 rupees. I have taken 10,000 rupees from others. After 1 year, I paid 12,000 rupees. I took 10,000 rupees and I paid 12,000 rupees. The extra 2,000 rupees I paid here. This extra 2,000 rupees is known as interest This 10,000 rupees is known as principal. This 12,000 rupees is known as amount. Amount in the sense what? Principal amount, original amount plus interest amount. Original plus interest is known as a amount. Original amount, nothing but a principal plus interest is known as a amount. Amount in the sense what here? Principal amount plus interest. Principal plus interest, that is known as a amount. From this only we can derive one more formula, that's 23rd formula. Suppose if you need interest, then how will you do it? This principal you transfer this side. Interest formula equal to amount minus principal. Then 24. If you need a principal here, principal in the sense what? Original amount, the amount which we borrowed. Amount minus interest. This interest will transfer, will get a principal. So these are the derivative formulas from the amount. Okay. Then we go for 25th one. That is called compound interest. That's called compound interest. What is this compound interest? Already we have simple interest. No? What is this compound interest? This compound interest is that interest on interest. It's called compound interest. Interest on interest. The compound interest allows you earn more. You will get a more amount. Interest on the interest. Every year they will keep a interest on interest again. That is called compound interest. Suppose let me tell you. Suppose on the simple interest. Suppose you have taken 1 lakh rupees, simple interest I am taking. Okay. Suppose you have taken for a simple interest 2%, 1 lakh. Suppose you have kept for 5 years also. This you kept for 5 years also. Only 2% only will be calculated on only 1 lakh. On principal 1 lakh only will keep a interest. Always మనం ఈ 1 lakh పైన 2% క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేస్తాం. అది సింపుల్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్. ఎన్ని ఇయర్స్ అన్న ఉంచుకోండి. 10 years or 15 years or 20 years. Will take only 2% will calculate and only 1 lakh will calculate. ఆ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అనేది 1 lakh పైన క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేస్తాం. బట్ ఇన్ కాంపౌండ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ is different. Normally in our surroundings, your fathers or mothers or your relatives all, they will give for compound interest only. Even the banks also they will give you for the compound interest. So let's see. For the compound interest is what? Interest plus interest. Suppose the compound interest you have taken. Suppose you have taken 1 lakh rupees. Suppose you have taken 1 lakh rupees interest. So after 1 year, for example, it is not exact calculation. After 1 year, the amount becomes suppose 1,24,000. Suppose for a 2% interest. For a 2%, yes, for the 2%, it will be 1,24,000. 2% ఎంత అవుతుంది 1,24,000 అవుతాయి 1 year తర్వాత. So but they will be paying after 3 years. ఇది 1 year, ఇది second year. ఈ second year को calculation, this 2% they will not calculate on 1 lakh. They will calculate on this 1,24,000. But simple interest, you keep for 1000 years or for 100 years or 10 years or 20 years, they will calculate on only principal amount. But here, see, this 2% will be calculated on this 1 lakh. The next year the 2% will be calculated on this principal amount plus interest amount. That is 1,24,000. This 2% will be calculated on 1,24,000. Then the amount, suppose it become 1,52,000 suppose, or not 1,49,000 you got it suppose. Into 1,49,000. And third year also you are keeping it. Then the compound interest will be. Compound interest is this 2% will be calculated on this 1,49,000. So it became 1,60,000 suppose. 1,60,000 suppose. See, if you take a compound interest, it will be interest on interest. You will be getting more amount if you are giving for compound interest. The same amount if it is in the simple interest. If you are taking 1 lakh rupees for simple interest, it's not an exact calculation. We do the exact calculations in the problems. For example, I am telling you here. For 2% you are taking how many years? Suppose 5 years if you would keep in this, or not for 3 years here also. Here for 3 years, this 1 lakh become 1,60,000. For simple interest, if you give for 3 years, it become the simple interest become 1,12,000 or something. 1,12,000 or 1,10,000, 1,15,000 will become. You will not get more interest on the simple interest. Here on the compound interest you will get a more interest because it's only a single interest. It is interest on interest. On this interest amount also they will keep a interest. That is called compound interest. Okay. Now there is no such a good people to give the simple interest. Always they will give the compound interest. Okay. Everyone will give for compound interest. That to calculate for every month. Okay. Now here compound interest formula. The compound interest you understood, I think so. Interest on interest. Interest on interest, that is called compound interest. Here you will get a amount formula in the compound interest. The amount formula in the compound interest. The amount formula in compound interest. Amount formula in the compound interest. P of 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power of n. P plus 1 by R, 1 plus P of 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power of n. So P of 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power of n. P is a principal, R is the rate of interest, n is the number of years. How many number of years will keep it here? As many numbers we have to write here. Suppose if you are keeping for 2 years, write 2. 3 years, write 3 like that. So this is amount formula. So this is amount formula. There is no simple interest formula is P into T into R by 100. You get a interest. If you want to find out amount, then principal plus interest you have to do it. But here in the compound interest directly you will get amount formula. Amount formula is P of 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power of n. Now here amount formula is. Then compound interest equal to, if you need a compound interest, this is a amount in compound interest. ఈ అమౌంట్ ఫార్ములా ఇది ఓన్లీ కాంపౌండ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్. ఈ అమౌంట్లో ఏముంటుంది? ప్రిన్సిపల్ ఉంటుంది, ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఉంటుంది. ఏం ఇంట్రెస్ట్? కాంపౌండ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్. ఈ కాంపౌండ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ కావాలంటే ఏంటి ఫార్ములా? ఇఫ్ యూ నీడ్ ఏ కాంపౌండ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్, అమౌంట్ మైనస్ ప్రిన్సిపల్ యూ హావ్ టు డూ ఇట్. అమౌంట్ మైనస్ ప్రిన్సిపల్. అమౌంట్ మైనస్ ప్రిన్సిపల్. Amount minus principal you have to do it in the compound interest. Then this is it. Then here we'll be having for some more formulas we have here. Then if the amount is calculated for annually, if it is for 1 year it is like a R. If rate of interest is 1 year, then we take R. If rate of interest for half yearly, అంటే every 6 months ఒకసారి ఇంట్రెస్ట్ క్యాలిక్యులేషన్ వాళ్ళు ఉంటారు. మన తెలుగులో అయితే బార్ వడ్డీ, చక్రవడ్డీ, భూ చక్రవడ్డీ, విష్ణు చక్రవడ్డీ అని చదువుతూ ఉంటాం. సో ఇయర్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్, కాంపౌండ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్, కాంపౌండెడ్ ఫర్ హాఫ్ ఇయర్లీ, కాంపౌండెడ్ ఫర్ క్వార్టర్లీ అని ఉంటుంది. సో ఇది కాంపౌండెడ్ ఫర్ ఇయర్లీ, దట్ మీన్స్ హాఫ్ ఇయర్లీ. ఇది కాంపౌండ్ ఫర్ ఇయర్లీ. దెన్ కాంపౌండెడ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఫర్ హాఫ్ ఇయర్లీ. Yearly. Compound interest for half yearly. The formula of compound interest for half yearly in the amount formula P of 1 plus R by 2 by 100 whole to the power of n. R by 2. R rate of interest is sagam avutundi. Suppose here the rate of interest for yearly it is a 10%. If R equal to 10%, here R equal to only 5%. ఈ R అనేది 5% అవుతుంది. ఎందుకంటే ఇది హాఫ్ ఇయర్లీ కదా, ఇందులో రేట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అనేది సగం అవుతుంది. దట్ ఈస్ 5%. Now we go for if it is taken for quarterly. Okay, quarterly in the sense after every quarter years we take for every 3 months once. 3 months. Okay, ikkada 6 months, half yearly ante 6 months, ikkada 3 months for every quarterly. Then we take A equal to P of 1 plus R by 4 by 100 whole to the power of n. చూడండి, ఇక్కడ రేట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ 10 ఉంటే ఫర్ ఇయర్లీ, ఇఫ్ ద రేట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఈస్ 10 ఫర్ ఇయర్లీ, ఫర్ హాఫ్ ఇయర్లీ ఇట్ విల్ బి 10 by 2, 5%. ఫర్ క్వార్టర్లీ ఇట్ విల్ బి 10 by 4, దట్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ R equal to now 2.5% only. The rate of interest will be calculated 2.5%. Compound interest only very burden to pay the amount because we will get more interest in the compound interest only. But if compound interest for half yearly will get again more amount. because for every 6 months they calculate the interest, again they put the interest on that interest amount also. Here quarterly will get more and more amount again. For every 3 months they will keep the capital. Suppose you have taken 10,000 rupees. After 3 months it became 11,000. They will keep a interest on 11,000. Then after 3 months the amount become 13,000. Then they will keep a interest on the 13,000. For every 3 months they will keep a compound interest. It will be given only in the very few people will calculate the quarterly and half yearly, but everyone will give the money and take money for based on the compound interest only. This is very useful for everyone. So you can share this video to whom it is helpful or not, leave it out, but you learn properly and read every formula. Every formula will help us to complete these 2 chapters of 6th, 7th class and 8th class. Okay, I hope you understood clearly. If you have any doubt you can contact me, I will tell you. Thank you.